We counted down 50 to 26 last week, and now here come the top 25 plays of the year in Muhlenberg athletics. We begin at number 25 with the play of Muhlenberg quarterback Joe Rapetti. In his first season at starting quarterback, he threw for 33 touchdown passes, ranking second among Division III sophomores. He also rushed for 8 touchdowns and became the first Mule to lead the team in both passing and rushing since 1971. At number 24, it's a dunk fest by the Mule men's basketball team. Leading the way is senior Tommy McGuire.
Nice head fake, better look, flips it down.
And here's McGuire giving it up for a dunk by senior Bryce Nash, and Jason Williams-Johnson doing it all on his own. At number 23, freshman Charlie Kirprich set a school record for the Centennial Conference Championships by shooting a 69 in the second round. That was just one short of the school record for any round. At number 22, Nicole Steiner scored this game-winning goal on a free position shot with 1:16 remaining to give the women's lacrosse team a big 16-15 win at Dickinson. That was one of 60 goals scored on the season by Steiner, the 5th most in program history. At number 21, it's number 22, Ethan Grossman, going behind the back with the pass to Jason Metz for the goal at F&M, and then at home against Gettysburg, he scores behind the back. At number 20, playing third base, it's sophomore Kaya Mahi of the softball team, making not 1, not 2, but 3 diving catches in the Mules doubleheader against Haverford. At number 19, a tribute to the goalies with some great saves. First, in field hockey, it's Grace Leard. In women's soccer, Sarah Pecorelli. In men's lacrosse, Max May. And in women's lacrosse, Megan Hogney. At number 18, men's lacrosse against defending Centennial Conference champion Dickinson, senior Jack Kramer scoring the tying goal with 4:07 left in regulation. Then less than a minute later, he scores again, giving Muhlenberg an 11-10 lead with 3:11 remaining. The Mules go on to win 11-10. Dickinson went on to finish the season ranked 6th in Division III. At number 17, field hockey against 16th ranked F&M, tied 1-1 in overtime, and it's Kathy Barish playing her first game ever in goal, stopping the breakaway. At number 16, sophomore Brandon Bowles, wrestling in the 157-pound championship at the Centennial Conference Championships, scores an 8-0 major decision to win the Centennial Conference title. He finished the season with a record of 31-5 and went on to qualify for nationals. At number 15, football recorded a postseason win for the 5th straight season, 48-21 at Lebanon Valley in the Centennial Mac Bowl Series. Michael Feaster was named MVP after catching 4 passes for 95 yards, including this scintillating 60-yard touchdown. At number 14, it's number 14 Andrew Solito, scoring the game-winning goal 40 seconds into the second overtime to give men's lacrosse a 10-9 win against St. John Fisher. At number 13, it's the multitasking of Avery McNulty in January. On Thursday night, she scores this layup in the women's basketball game at Swarthmore. On Friday night, she wins the high jump at the Muhlenberg Invitational. McNulty went on to win the gold outdoors in the high jump. At number 12, baseball flashing the leather. First against Gettysburg, Jake Swerdloff goes into shallow right field to make the catch and throw out the runner at home plate. Then Jonathan Toth at shortstop, the Centennial Conference Gold Glove of the Year, making the great play off the ball that hit the base. And the best play of the year, Brendan Hughes going over the fence to catch this foul pop-up at Johns Hopkins. At number 11, John Panny was named Most Outstanding Performer at the Centennial Conference Indoor Track Championships after winning both the triple jump and the long jump. At number 10, first ever bout at the NCAA Championships for 174-pound Centennial Conference champion Anson Dewar, and he pins his opponent from Waynesburg in just 39 seconds. Dewar would later add another pin against an opponent from Wesleyan to earn All-America honors. He finished his season with a record of 32-5. At number 9 is the postseason goalkeeping of freshman Ben Mulford of the men's soccer team. Mulford recorded 4 straight shutouts against ranked teams in the playoffs, recording 24 saves in those games without allowing a goal. He also added 3 saves in penalty kick shootouts. Mulford was named Most Outstanding Player of the Centennial Conference Tournament. At number 8, volleyball junior Alyssa Fayetteville earned all-region honors mostly for her defense. She averaged 5.67 digs per set, which ranked 19th in Division III. But in the match at Haverford, it was her offense, as she recorded this kill on match point, dumping the ball deep into the back row. Mules win 3-1, a key win in them earning a Centennial Conference playoff berth. At number 7, baseball set a school record with 4 walk-off wins all on walk-off hits. Brendan Hughes with this walk-off double against TCNJ. And then against Gettysburg, Muhlenberg walked off in both games of the doubleheader. Ryan Riccio with the game-winning hit in the first game, and another Ryan Friesen, with the game-winning hit in the second game. And true to form, the Mules ended their season with a walk-off win, Jonathan Toth delivering the single in the bottom of the 10th inning to give the Mules a 3-2 win against Ursinus at Coca-Cola Park. At number 6, it's the men's 4x100-meter relay team of Trevor Hitchcock, Joshua Castro, James Nye, and Russell Neuwirth winning gold at the Centennial Conference Championships. They tied an 11-year-old school record with a time of 42.23 seconds. At number 5, women's basketball tied with Gettysburg closing seconds, and it's Emily Unger putting up the floater for the win with 0.8 of a second remaining. The Mules win 60-58. At number 4, junior Noel House threw the javelin 210 feet 4 inches at the Muhlenberg Invitational. That's the third best throw in Centennial Conference history. He earned his second career Centennial Conference gold and qualified for the NCAA Championships for the first time in his career. At number 3, Giovanni Rubina was on Plays of the Week a lot this year for doing things like this and this. But then he did something that no Mule had done in more than a half century. He scored 35 points against Ursinus in the first round of the Centennial Conference playoffs, one short of the 55-year-old Muhlenberg postseason record and a Centennial Conference record for a first-round game. At number 2, Centennial Conference 125-pound final in overtime. Muhlenberg junior Joey Lamparelli, going against a wrestler who's ranked second in the region, scores this takedown midway through the period for the 3-1 decision and the conference championship. Right? Wrong. The call was challenged and the decision was reversed. No takedown, so the wrestlers go back to the mat. And as the period winds down, Lamparelli scores a takedown with no dispute to win the Centennial Conference title at 125. He would go on to earn All-America honors by finishing 8th at 125 at the Division III Championships and finished his season with a record of 30-10. And our number 1 play of the year is a penalty kick to win a postseason men's soccer shootout. But it's not this one. That's sophomore Jason Edelstein against Case Western Reserve in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The Mules win the shootout 5-4 to advance to the second round. But they wouldn't have gotten there if not for this kick by Jake Mendelson in the 6th round of PKs against Johns Hopkins in the Centennial Conference Championships. Mendelson puts it in the back of the net to give the Mules a 5-4 win in the shootout and their 7th Centennial Conference Championship, capping a week in which the Mules defeated Franklin and Marshall, Gettysburg, and Johns Hopkins, all on the road. Mendelson's penalty kick is our number 1 play of the year. Thanks for watching all year. We'll be back with the next plays of the week on Tuesday, September 6th, 2023. Have a great summer, and go Mules!